Right, Scarlett, thank you for joining me. You've got a lot of important stuff to talk about today, but firstly, I believe congratulations are in order because you've passed your driving test.
Yeah, 14th time lucky, that's what they say, isn't it?
I mean, firstly, I'm wondering if you can give me any advice because I'm in the same boat as you. I'm desperately struggling. I've taken the thing 4 times, can't pass it. So, any words of wisdom for me?
Do you know what I actually do? So when I was practicing before, I think I went wrong is I tried to just learn the routes of where I was actually driving to. So my advice is just pick a random postcode, drive there with someone and drive around because it's important to actually learn to drive rather than how to pass the test. And I feel like that's where I was going wrong before. Once you know how to drive, you can pass any test. I feel like I could do my HGV lorries now. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm ready to go.
I'm struggling with both, and I think it's a tradition really when people pass these driving tests that they go to McDonald's, and I know that's exactly what you did. So, what did you order for your celebratory meal?
Do you know what I did? And I know it's greedy, but I'm not bothered if anyone's judging us. I got a 20 chicken nugget share box and I ate it to myself in the bay. I was just so elated that I actually had passed. I was like, I deserve these 20 nugs.
You know what, Scott? I completely agree with you. You do deserve that, and hopefully one day I'll get that celebratory meal
You
too.
will.
I
I
hope so.
absolutely know you will. I've got a good vibe from you, James. You
Thank
will.
you very much. I'll keep you in the loop, and when I pass it, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
But now, moving on to the campaign you're running, it's exceptionally important. You've teamed up with Free, encouraging people to be more charitable at Christmas time. So, could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think, everyone's feeling it this year. It's a little bit of a crazy one this year. And I've really found that people are really wanting to help in some way. And I think this campaign with 3UK is just one of the easiest ways to really feel like you're given something. So research shows that people normally have about three unused mobiles in the house, just stuck in a drawer. Well, we want to get those phones in and revamp them and give them 6 months of unlimited data calls and texts and give to somebody who is, disadvantaged or who is trying to get back on the feet. And I think sometimes we take for granted being able to connect. I think it's something that we just always assume everybody has the pleasure of having, but it really isn't. And I know that it'll make such a difference. So, yeah, if you have got a phone and you're like, I don't know what to do with it, you can go on the Three website, go to your local store, or you can come and see me on Oxford Street on Friday. I'm going to be collecting some phones from the flagship store.
Yeah, I was reading your research, and in total, I think there's 84.3 million phones that are left unused, which is a crazy stat. And amidst the cost of living crisis, people can't go out and buy phones. Things are getting more difficult. So it is important that we spread that festive cheer and allow everybody to be able to connect digitally.
Yeah, and I think as well, like you know, people are quite lonely at the minute. Like people aren't being as sociable because of the cost of living. So it's a way for people to not be lonely either, is connecting digitally. So it just makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, it definitely does. And now looking towards the jungle, yourself, a former queen of the jungle, it's been an interesting series, a lot of controversial campmates. And the first thing I picked up on, some heavy hitters have gone home early. I mean, Eileen Grimshaw from Coronation Street, that's a big one. She's gone. Boy George has hit the hay as well. So have you been shocked by how it's all gone so far?
Honestly, I was shocked, so shocked. I can't even get my words out. That's how shocked I am. That Baba went because I honestly thought he was going to be in the top three. I had Jill as my winner, Mike coming second, and I had Baba as third. So, yeah, and like, Boy George, like, I don't, if I was in there and Boy George went, I think I'd genuinely be shocked. I'd be like, I've outlasted Boy George.
Suppose it's quite an achievement for all the people in there who've outlasted him. And one person who's outlasted Boy George somehow is Matt Hancock, probably one of the most controversial campmates we've ever had. Some people have warned him, others still see him as disingenuous. I mean, the opinion of the public is split on this man. What do you make of Matt Hancock?
Yeah, do you know what it is? Obviously, I'm not in there with him, and we only see such a small part of camp life. But I can completely see why all the campmates love him because when you're in there, you're just so hungry. All you care about is food. And Matt Hancock brings home the stars He literally brings home the bacon, so I can see why everyone loves him in there because he's filling the bellies, especially Owen. I mean, I think out of everyone, Owen is the one who's really feeling hungry the most. And I really feel for him when I'm watching and I'm sitting at home having my cup of tea with me bourbon biscuits. I do not miss being in there.
I can imagine. And how popular does it make you in camp when you've got somebody like Matt Hancock who's going out and bringing back the stars? Because we've seen, in years gone by, the likes of Gillian McKeith going in and passing out and not bringing back those stars. So I can imagine it's probably helped Matt's popularity quite a bit in camp.
It's all you care about. I know it sounds so trivial, but literally all you care about is food. You're just thinking about your belly constantly. And like I really felt for Chris Moyles actually when he only brought 1 star back. I felt for him because you feel like you're letting everybody down. It's not like he didn't do it. It's not like he said, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. The man was trying. And like when they lowered that, when you sat there and you're waiting all day for the bag to get lowered, you can see how heavy it is. When it was 1 star, it literally looked like a carrier bag floating in the wind. I'd have started crying. I'd have just went to bed. I'd have been like, it's fine, guys. You can have my portion of rice and beans. I'm off to bed.
I'll be honest, I think if I was stranded in the jungle without food, I'd be furious as well. And I remember a few years back, we had Amir and Ian, didn't we? Who ate
Yes,
the
the
strawberries.
strawberries,
Oh,
strawberry
mental
gate.
television. It was up there with possibly the greatest television of
Yeah.
all time. How do you think you'd have reacted to Amir, especially because he was wearing a panda bear suit as well, wasn't it? It was a ridiculous situation.
I'll be totally honest because I did the extra camp show then. So I got to meet him when he came out, I interviewed him. I would have found it so funny because I think actually he opened the floodgates for other people doing it. It had never been done before. It was very taboo. And they just ate it themselves. Now it's like, why did I not think of that? Why? You know what I mean? Because you're so hungry in there. I remember before, like, we got, I think it was like half a custard cream each. I wish I just ate the custard creams myself. How would they know? I don't think they should have told the campmates. I think they should have just kept it a secret and just been like, yeah, you just didn't get the question right.
I'm actually completely on board because I think it would have made tremendous television having them all coming out and watching that. And perhaps Amir would have won it had he done that because I think it would have been
Yeah,
even better television. But
yeah, I
moving
think
away
so.
from the comedy element, Owen and Sean had a really candid chat about mental health the other night, which is
Yeah.
important for us all to say.
And I think it's really important for men as well because I think I've got friends who are men, and it is a little bit harder sometimes to start those conversations. And I think it reaches such a big audience, and I think it'll really make a difference to people watching. I really hope so. And I think that's what's wonderful about this show is that, it's one of them rare family shows where you can all sit down together and everyone in the UK is talking about you really feel like you're part of something. And yeah, I think for them to show that chat is so important,
Yeah,
especially at this time of the year. I feel like this is the time of year that although it's for celebrations, I think it really does hit some people hard. So the more open we can talk about mental health, definitely the better.
it's definitely a tremendous platform for people to be able to talk and get those opinions out. But regardless, Scarlett, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And I'm going to take your words of wisdom on board regarding the driving test. I'm going to get it passed. I promise you. Promise from
I
me to
hope to
you.
hear that you've had a share box in your car and you've
Absolutely.
driven it there yourself.
Well, I'll tweet you and let you know as soon as
Yes,
that day
please
comes. I
do.
mean, being honest, that could come in 5 years, but it'll come.
I'll
But
be
before
waiting.
you'll be waiting. But before I let you go, is there anything that you'd like to add that you feel like I haven't mentioned?
No, I think we mentioned everything there. Thank you so much, James.
You're very welcome, Scarlett, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
You too.